New information tonight about the tremendous financial cost of our illegal alien crisis. A new report finds illegal aliens are costing the country $100 billion a year. The report estimates if the Flake Gutierrez guest worker program should become law, or so-called comprehensive immigration reform, it would cost taxpayers $400 billion over the next decade. The report is entitled "The Fiscal Cost of Low-Skill Households to the U.S. Taxpayer." Robert Rector is one of the authors, a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, joining us tonight from Washington, D.C. Congressman Brian Bilbray is chairman of the Immigration Reform Caucus, a leading critic of the Flake Gutierrez immigration bill, joining us tonight from San Diego. Thank you both for being here. Let's very quickly put up the cost of this as you have determined it, Robert. You're putting up as a simple, straightforward fact that there are 17.7 million low-skill households. Now, not all of these, obviously, are filled with illegal aliens in this country. The total annual fiscal deficit for all of these households totaling $397 billion. I mean, at what point, with an annual, this creates an annual fiscal deficit of nearly $400 billion, or almost $4 trillion over 10 years. Now, of course, some of that money is necessary to spend because these are American citizens who have not been able to move into a higher income bracket, who are poor, who are struggling in many cases. What percentage do you believe is due to illegal immigration?
It's not just illegal immigration, it's the legal immigration system as well is focused on bringing in people without a high school degree. And I would estimate that legal and illegal immigration is costing the taxpayer through these low-skill immigrants about $100 billion a year, about a quarter of that total. Increasingly, the low-skill part of our population is a part that we're deliberately importing. We've imported over 11 million high school dropouts in the last 20 years. They cost the taxpayer a bundle.
Well, Congressman Bilbray, how do you react to that? I have to tell you, I am far less concerned if, as a matter of legal immigration, we're bringing in people with various levels of skills and education. One assumes we're doing so out of a sense of the national interest and our needs as a nation. But the illegal immigration is perplexing at the very least, isn't it?
Well, this study really shows why we spend billions and billions. So we don't have, we try to reduce the number of people who are undereducated, undertrained, because they don't have the ability to produce the resources to be able to pay for the overhead that you have. And then when you have people that stand up and try to justify illegal immigration, that we need more poor, uneducated people in the country, the Heritage Foundation sort of reinforces that this is an issue that goes beyond just legal and illegal immigration. It's a concept that if we're going to have immigration, we should try to get those that are going to be paying a major portion of the expense of what they produce. We're really talking about for every illegal immigrant family in this country, we're giving them the equivalent of a brand new Mustang convertible every year. That is something that I think that we got to recognize as the real expense of illegal immigration.
Let's put up, Robert Rector, let's put up this, this chart showing the cost of low-skilled workers, and this is an interesting way to look at it. They pay under $10,000 in taxes, yet they receive more than $32,000 in benefits. The tax burden, obviously, is the difference between the two, and that is an impressive number, but it rises to over $1 million over the lifetime of such workers. There's another way to look at this, it seems to me, Robert Rector, and that is, if low-skilled workers are being brought in by corporate America, what they're really doing is pushing the burden of providing for those low-skilled workers, particularly illegal immigrants, off on the American taxpayer, so that the company, the employer of those illegal aliens, won't be paying that $30,000 or $22,000 net difference, if we can assume that, each year.
That's exactly right. When the Chamber of Commerce will come to me and lobby and say, oh, you know, we have to have these workers, we'd have to pay $1 an hour more if we didn't have them. I say, look, each one of these workers you bring in like this, if they come in with a family, it's costing the taxpayers $22,000. Do you as an employer want to pay that cost? And they say, oh, no, we don't want to pay that. They just want to shift those costs off on the taxpayer so they can make a tiny bit more profit. It's a terrible, terrible idea. And we have a very generous system. For people born in the United States, we support them through welfare, we subsidize their Social Security, we give basically free education for their kids. But what we really have now is a kind of transnational welfare outreach where we're pulling more welfare recipients into the country.
And of course, the Bush administration right now is upset with those folks out in California who are giving away birth control pills to illegal aliens. That's what seems to concern them rather than $400 billion. You know, let me ask you this, Congressman Bilbray, we have to wrap up. Robert Rector just mentioned that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the country's biggest business lobby, wants to push all of those costs for low-skilled labor off on illegal labor, off on the American taxpayer. What do you say to a group of people who who are telling all over Congress, saying to you guys, you know, we need to bring in all these illegal aliens because we need people to pay for the Social Security for the baby boomers? Do they not look at any of the facts, any of the empirical basis, the underlying reality of this country's experience?
Lou, I had him in my office last week, and we had, let's just say, a brisk discussion about this, what I like to call a shift in the shaft. And no, the excuse really is the fact that it's good for us right now and our group, and they don't look at the long-term impact, especially the impact not just on our budget and our fiscal crisis that we've run into in this country, but what about our grandchildren's fiscal stability? This is not sustainable, as we would say in the environmental community. It's one of those things that people are saying, just give me what I need, what I want right now. I don't care about the long-term impacts of the nation.
Yeah, and they don't really care about the short-term impact either, suggesting that we need more of these workers at the same time. Wages in construction, landscaping, leisure and hospitality, the predominant industry employers of illegal aliens, all of the wages have been declining there over the course of the past 5 years, putting a lie to just about everything that's being said on behalf of illegal immigration. Robert Rector, we thank you very much with the Heritage Foundation, and we thank you very much, Congressman Brian Bilbray.
Thank you, Lou.